Hi everyone, and welcome to the next Flip Learning video. This is all about fractions, ratio and proportion. We're going to have a look at how they interrelate. This is the Getting Secure version. To start off with, we're going to define those terms. So when we're talking about ratio, we're talking about something that we can compare. So here we've got 2 red for every 3 blue, and we write them like that with a colon with how many red and how many blue. Now that's different to a proportion, which is more like a fraction. So I could say that 2/5 are red, and of course the 2 representing the number that are red, and the 5 representing the total. Now of course the 5 didn't appear in the ratio, because the ratio is just comparing how many red to how many blue. So see if you can write these ratios, proportions and fractions correctly. Pause the video and have a go. So of course the ratio of green circles to red circles is 5:3. They're comparing the amounts of green and red. The proportion of circles that are red, well of course there are 3 that are red, and this time it's out of a total of 8, presented as a fraction. And then of course the fraction of the circles that are green is 5 out of 8, and you'll notice that 3 out of 8 and 5 out of 8 makes 8 out of 8, all of them. Okay, so have a go at these ratio questions, and then once you've done that, we'll have a look at how they're kind of similar to fraction questions as well. I've started to lay out some of the information, if that might help you, but have a go at the 2 questions, pause the video, and then we'll have a look at the solutions in a minute. Okay, so for the first one, we could keep adding lots of fish, so we could say, well, you know, by the time the infant's had 6, the adult will have had 10, adding 3 to the top and 5 to the bottom each time, 9 and 15, 12 and 20, 15 and 25. Now, we've done that by adding, but of course what we could do is say, well, if we gave this combination of 3 and 5 and did that 5 times, then that would be 15 fish for the infant seal and 25 for the adult seal, because 3 times 5 is 15 and 5 times 5 is 25. 5 lots of meals, essentially. Now similarly for the bottom version, we know that in each feed we have a total of 8 fish, 3 for the infants and 5 for the adults. So by the time they've had 64 fish, that is 8 meal times. So that'll be 64 in total. So that'll mean the infants had 3 8 times, which will be 24. The adult will have had 5 fish 8 times, and that'll be 40. And we can check that those figures add up, because 24 add 40 is 64. So how many is the infant eaten? Well, the answer to that question, of course, is 24. Now, in an identical way, of course, if we ask the question, what is 3/8 of 64? We'd be working out, well, 1/8 of 64 is 64 divided by 8, which is 8. So to work out 3/8, add times by 3. 8 3s are 24. And of course that's the same answer as our ratio question. Now have a go at these fraction questions, and we'll see if we can work out how they're kind of similar to the ratio questions that you've just done. So pause the video and have a go. So of course, to work out 3/4 of 24, I need to split 24 into quarters. So that would be, I often picture it as pieces of 6, so you can see the 4 quarters of 6, and so 3/4 would be 1, 2, 3 of them, which would be 18. Now we can kind of see how that's similar to a ratio question where we have 3 and 4, and we keep scaling that up to make 6 and 8, and again we could double that to get us to 12 and 16, and then we could add another 3 to the top, 15, another 4 to the bottom, 20, and then we could add another 3 to the top to make it 18, the number in our answer, and another 4 to the bottom, 24. Same skill as equivalent fractions. For the second example, 3/4 of a number is 24. What's the number? I would like to draw out a block and be able to see quarters. So if 3/4 of a number, this amount, is 24, then I know that each quarter has got to be 8. 8, 16, 24. And then to work out the whole number, I know I've got another quarter there, so I actually need 4 eighths, which is 32. Well done, I hope you've enjoyed the video, I hope you've learnt a lot, and again, we will see you in school.